So in this vlog, I wanted to talk about how people can control public perceptions in order to control you or control people like myself. I actually think that the gang stalkers, their how they do things is based on their ability to manipulate and control public perception. So like a lot of us have heard about like Freemasons and the Illuminati and these cults ability to control and manipulate people, and they say that they got heavy hitters in Hollywood and they got people who have positions of power who are super wealthy. I guess you would call them the one percenters, and they are just working together in order to control everybody. I wanted to talk about that a little bit because gang stalking, in a lot of ways, is basically people being controlled or being told to see things a certain way, and they're seeing things that way. And that actually could go into, we could get into like spirituality with that as well, but I don't know how much I'm going to get into spirituality with this recording. But the one thing I used to wonder is how is it that a bunch of strangers that I don't know could turn against me outside of it being spiritual when you really think about it? Like, how is that possible? Yeah, so like the Illuminati, what do we know about the Illuminati? What have we heard? So essentially, the Illuminati is supposed to be the one percenters, that if people, the top people, and the people in positions of power, like the top people, the wealthiest, and they are just working together to control everything. And like when you talk about PC culture too, one thing about PC culture that I don't like, and I think that this is why I don't think we should have a PC culture, is that I don't think PC culture actually protects people, innocent people, from anything. I think it's more geared towards protecting bad people, and they can hide behind it like a shield, more than it is protecting just like regular folk who are going about their lives. And I just don't see it that way. That's why I would be like, if you are just like an okay person and you're going about your business, I don't know why you would even need PC culture to protect you. In the end, you know the type of person you are. So like, whatever people say about you, you're gonna know whether it's real or not. I mean, of course, with gang stalking, see, gang stalking is like more psychological manipulation. Like, if you're targeted, these people are manipulating you into being what they want you to be. And as a matter of fact, they probably started doing this when you were super young. So basically, they're brainwashing you. And that's different than if you're just a regular Joe going about your life and then somebody just says something that you know doesn't apply to you. That's why I was like, well, if you're a good, solid person, why do you need PC culture? Because if, regardless of what people say about you, you would know whether it's true or not. So, like, if I were to call somebody a thug or something, or a psychopath, well, if that person legitimately is that, he might get offended. I mean, he probably would. He would be like, oh yeah, I go out there and I be stealing and beating old women up and gang stalking and drug dealing. And so if that's him, I could see him being pissed that I said something about him that was true. And I could see him having feelings about it. But if you're just like a regular person going about your life and somebody says something about you, I mean, it might be a little, nasty. It might seem a little nasty to you, but I don't think it'll be like something that you're gonna hold on to for that long. I feel like with people, like when you're saying PC culture, I would say that, okay, like when certain situations, you might want to be sensitive to people's feelings, like depending. But in general, like, I think it covers bad people more than it helps good people, I think is what I'm saying. So going back, trying to get back on topic. So that's something that I've noticed. And so like the manipulation of public perception would give people the power control over everybody. And we got social media and all these other kind of ways that we're all connected, and all you really have to do between that and artificial intelligence, I mean, you have a lot of avenues to control people. So I would just say that, like, if we were to say Freemasonry is connected to the Illuminati and is responsible for this, or for turning people against me or turning people against other targeted people, then they would just basically be super wealthy people who are trying to come together in order to be rulers of the earth. And it's like, well, if you became super wealthy, then maybe they approach you. Like, if you became that rich, then they would come to you and say, you could rule the world with us. And how many people you think would turn that down? I mean, I don't know. It's probably something like that. I don't really know. But the point is that we don't really. So it's not like with all these pathways to control people. I don't think. It's just like with me. So if a person got to know me and studied me for long enough, they would know how I'd react to certain situations. And I would just say that, especially with cell phones and stuff, like, so we became super connected within like, how what's it been like the last 15 years, like with the internet. When the internet exploded, we became super connected, and at that point it was just so easy for people to learn about other people discreetly. And then it's kind of like, well, you just can push buttons and turn people into what you want them to be at that point. So when that happens, then it becomes a lot easier for people to control and manipulate other people. That's why I was just like, I try to, when I deal with people, I try to keep in mind that people are probably controlled, psychologically controlled, and the people after who are fucking with me would know my ticks, and they would be able to push my buttons and turn me against everybody else and everybody else against me, because they would know what to do, what to say, and they could just put it all together and just manipulate, make it whatever they wanted to be. That's why I would be like, well, if they have that kind of power, and then they have artificial intelligence too helping them. I mean, if you got those kind of resources, then I mean, I'm just saying it's inevitable for this to happen at some point. And they can control the world, they can control who becomes popular and who is outcast. Honestly, if you think about it, once you're poor, you're just an outcast automatically. Like, you just, they just gave you that. How many super poor people are popular? Once you're super poor, you're just done. I honestly think it's pretty damn easy to just like fucking destroy a person. Like, all you really have to do is just fuck their money up and they're done. Like, that shit, I don't even think you can really be, even if you were A-list celebrity, once you're poor, it's over. So I think it's actually pretty damn easy to control people. How people see you. They blacklist your ass and you're fucking done, dude. I don't care how popular you are. I think it's super easy. And then it's just like, we automatically have this stigma towards poverty. And it's been programmed into us. And I think that that's also part of the control system. Like, it's programmed into us. So when you get a job, the 1%ers control pretty much every job, because if you think about it, no matter where you're working, you're working under these people. It's like they have companies, and then their companies are smaller companies connected to a bigger company, and it just keeps going higher. It's like if you work fast food and you have Yum Brands will control all the fast food brands, all of them, and then the person who is at top of that. And that it's like all the jobs, like everything we have is kind of like, there's like a select group of people who are controlling everything. So like, if you are making money, these people control you. The reality is they control you. I mean, they own you. I mean, they control you because they would say, if you fuck up and do anything we don't like, or you buck, we will end you. Pretty much just completely in you. If we make it so that you can't work or you can't be successful, you're shit. Everybody will be like, you're garbage, you're a piece of shit, fuck you. So I think that level of power, with that level of power, and you have the people propagating this shit too. Like, you have the people being like, oh man, I don't fuck with broke people and all this other shit. Like, they make it about the money, and they're kind of paid to make it about the money. So they're paid to make it about the money. So they get money to make it about the money. That's why with rap music especially, like rap music, these people who make these rap music videos are basically teaching people to be all about money and to see people that way, to value them financially, like a financial success. And they get paid for that because these are not super gifted people. Their gift is the fact they make music and say shit that encourages people to just worship money and say if you're broke you aren't shit. And the whole premise of what the message is to say that. So nothing else you bring to the table matters if you're broke, and that is literally the message. So if you knew that, if you could control people by telling them that we could devalue anybody by blacklisting their ass if they get out of line, so they have to be our puppet, they have to do what we want, or we blacklist their ass and they're not shit, and we throw them out and say you're poor as shit, everybody be like, fuck you, you don't even have civil rights. That's why, like, when I honestly think, like, honest to goodness, like, that is an effective weapon. I mean, I would imagine that most TIs are poor because that is a pretty effective weapon in order to sort of make them, to hurt them. Like, but at the same time, I just kind of try to remind people that it's about control in the end. And, you got a couple of people who are trying to play the role of God. Like with me, I'll just say, well, I don't know if, with the people, I said, well, hell, if I have to, in order to be popular, I have to be your puppet, then you could kiss my ass. Basically, I'm going to do, my freedom does come at a price, and I would be willing to pay the price in order to have my freedom. So if it's about that, if you're going to be like, oh, we're going to be your new gods, and you're going to just fucking do what we want, or we're going to fucking just piss on you, or do this shit, that's not going to work with me. But I think that it's going to work with most people, so I don't really give a shit. So basically, if the world is basically saying that like I have to be their bitch and do everything they fucking want, or else, then fuck them. But at the same time, like I don't consciously go out into the world trying to make enemies. And I kind of wanted to just put that out there. My enemies are the people who are legitimately working against me or trying to manipulate and control me. And they don't have the right to do that. And I don't give them that power. And I don't give anybody I live around that power. I don't give the people on the internet, the people on my channel. None of you get that kind of power. You're never going to get it. I will never let you have it. And regardless of how you feel about what I do, because in the end, connections with people is a weakness. It's a weakness because the people in their manipulating tactics, or the fact that they're all working together in order to control you, makes them dangerous or makes them a liability for me. And I see that. And I said, well, it's actually pretty easy for me not to give a shit at all and just do whatever the fuck I want anyhow. So why would I give that up and just say, oh yeah, I have to be liked by people? And in reality, being liked by people doesn't make my life any easier anyhow. In the end of the day, I know what I am. So like technically, if I thought that I was a piece of shit legitimately, that would probably bother me, but only because I knew it was true. But like, regardless of what people say, I know who the fuck I am. I know what I bring to the table. So people can't lie in order to take that away from me. Just because they gang up on me, they can't make me feel like I'm low when I know better. And that's why I said, well, PC culture is making people who are low feel high, and people who are high feel low. But in reality, it's not like that. You should know better. That's why I said, well, you don't have to protect people if they know better. If they know what they are, you don't really have to protect them that much. So just in case people thought I was being offensive, I just wanted to clear that up, because I'm not trying to offend people. And, if every single person in the world wants to, try to run me with their shit, you can try. You can try. I mean, I'm just giving you a heads up. It's not gonna play out that way. And I don't really know, I don't know how people see it, but I figured it would just be a good idea to just put that out there. And with that said, let me close.